Hey you all, happy Saturday. If you are new to my page, I am Taylor, and this is a series that I have called Fueled by Faith, where I speak with women from all walks of life about their journey of living out their passions. So I will have a special guest on today, and we go way back. So I'm really excited to have her on today. I'm going to go ahead and invite her in, and then I'll introduce her, and I'll talk a little bit about the series. Well, I'll talk about the series first, and then I'll introduce her. Thank you to everyone who's joining. Let me go ahead and guest. Super excited. Hi. I haven't seen you in so many years, so it's nice to see your face and like real time talking. I'm in my bedroom right now. I know. So I was just telling everybody that we're gonna get. Are you hearing like an echo?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, good. So I was just telling everybody that if they don't know me, I'm Taylor, and this is part of my Fueled by Faith series. So I actually talk with women from all walks of life about their journey of living out their passions and stepping out on faith to do that, because it is a big faith walk in living out our passions and what we're most passionate about. So we'll jump right in, because I know I only have so much time as you're a cheer mom and you have like so much going on.
We are legit. As soon as this is over, we are headed to competition. So
Okay.
It is going to be a day.
I'm wishing you well. I'm sure she's going to do amazing. So today I have Brianna from Watson Girls 143. She's going to be sharing her passions about living her life to the fullest. She shares how someone recently once told her, you're allowed to reinvent yourself 5 to 6 times in your lifetime. And she has ran with this concept ever since, which I really love that so much. She loves her life, her family, and she's always looking for new opportunities to travel, visit theme parks, and dive deeper into the latest motherhood style trends. I swear, you're like a fashionista. So she's super dedicated to motherhood and embracing everything that motherhood entails. So I think you guys are going to really like hearing from Brianna today. So thank you, Brianna, for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. So we'll jump right in. How long ago did you actually start your blog? And was there anything specific that motivated you to create Expedition Watson? And one real thing too, as real quick, Brianna and I actually worked together at Disney many moons ago.
We did.
Which is crazy, because it's been like 5 or 6 years.
So much. I'm so proud of you, first off. So it is just amazing. But that's just the testament to life. You know, you meet so many great people throughout it. So absolutely. I'm glad we've crossed paths.
Me too. And I love the fact that like same for you, right? We've walked through so many different seasons, whether we were very close in that season or living far apart. You know, I think it's been nice to see you shine. So tell us a little bit about your blog. How did you get started? What motivated you to create Expedition Watson?
So Expedition Watson is like my baby. I started my platform here by itself as a personal page, just showcasing my life, because we live in Florida and all of our family lives in Maryland or DC. So as my page started to grow, I started realizing that there's only so much I can really put here on Instagram. And I had a few people say, well, why don't you do blog, or why don't you blog, or why don't you blog? And I'm like, well, I'm not really like a writer. Like, and they're like, you don't really have to be one. We just like what you have to share. And sometimes, you know, you're saying it in a video, maybe too fast and we miss it. And honestly, it was a great way for me to have a backup, because if Instagram like just caves and falls or whatever at some point, you know, Expedition Watson is still my baby and still a platform of my own that I created. So I created it about a year ago. I launched it, and it's just all about, it encompasses what my page is about, but it really is just a true testament to what I have to offer people, and gives that platform for everybody to go to and have something to refer back to.
I love that. And the one thing I've seen is you tie in every aspect of motherhood and everything that you're doing, because I know you're also a travel agent, and then you're promoting a lot of brand partnerships.
A jack of all trades is what everyone always says. Like, oh my God, how do you have time for anything? But, you know, I like being busy. I know that sounds so crazy. I like being busy. And then when I vacation hard, because I feel like, you know, you work hard, you can reward yourself hard. And My schedule might be busy, but it's worth it.
I love that. Were there any initial challenges that you faced, like when you first launched your blog? And if so, what were they, and how did you conquer those challenges?
You know, I'm going to say this. Having a blog and having a website is a whole new beast. You know, finding the right platform, understanding SEO, analytics are completely different on a blog than it is on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. So honestly, I spent a lot of time researching and understanding social media in terms of Instagram and things like that. So really the initial challenge with my blog was just, it was a whole new ball game because it was a whole different lane. Things applied a lot differently on the blog space than it does here. And I'm still learning. It's not, I don't have it 100% down. Some days, some things I post do really well, and sometimes I post and they don't do well. And, you know, I've learned to kind of roll with the punches, and I'm a big learn as you go person. So I'm still learning, but definitely realizing that not everything is cross-platform. Like, it just doesn't work that way for everything.
And I love that the one thing you said is, like, you learned a lot. So, like, if you don't know it, I feel like the challenge is learning that all of the platforms are different, and then seeking out the information so that you can conquer each one bit by bit. So how has your experience working at Disney previously played a role in the success of, like, you building your community and your platform? Has that, or has it not played a role? And that's fine too if it hasn't.
You know, I don't think most people even know that I worked at Disney on this platform.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. They do, but they know from like lives like this or from like little things. But you know, I worked for the company still up until they furloughed me in last December. So I stayed on as seasonal even after going on to be a teacher and things like that. You know, I loved working for Disney. It was one of it still is one of the highlights of my life, but I am really enjoying being on the annual pass side of it at the same time. So honestly, I've using kind of that same like love and passion that I had for Disney working there has kind of brought me to this community where there is people that love Disney and they're Disney adults just like me. There's other Disney loving moms. This space has brought me some really great friends. But it's not all Disney. And I've figured, like, as much as I love Disney, there's so much more out there for me. So my job didn't really play a huge factor, but it has really given me like the tips and insights that I'm able to use and that I know and things like that. And I'm like, oh, hey, you know, this is how this might work, that may work. So for instance, my youngest is allergic to cow milk, so or dairy protein or whatever. She can't have that. So when I went dairy free for a little bit, you know, it was easy for me to go to the parks and be dairy free because that's what I did in my daily role with special diets. So
I love that. Yeah, you did. I forgot you were on the special diets task force, right? So oh my gosh. Yeah, so nice. You actually learned a lot. It's funny how things come around full circle because you didn't have her then.
Nope.
And now you do, and now it comes back around. So everything you learned to help those guests is now helping you with your daughter.
Crazy. Yep.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's super cool. Okay, so what is your process? I know we only have so much time. What does your process look like for developing content, and how do you prioritize what's most important? Because I know we're going to talk a little bit more later about your niche, but how do you, like, I see you talk about fashion and Disney and going to the parks and then traveling and motherhood products. I mean, you have a bit of everything. So how do you prioritize what's most important? And thank you to everybody who's joining. If you have any questions for Brianna, definitely put them in the comments as well as we go. And if we have time, we'll get those answered.
Yeah, you know, honestly, a planner is my number one thing. I sit down and there's certain things that fit for me that I know I want to do each week before I even tie in whatever brands I may be working with or needs to go up that week or things like that. But my planner is my number one baby. I use a Happy Planner. It is a Disney one. I didn't bring it in here with me. I wish I did to show you. But I plan everything out. So Mondays is my mini Monday. I do that faithfully. We'll get to that later, but have my mini Monday, and you know, I really try to make sure I do at least one mom must have each week because I know there's moms out there. My inbox is full of moms asking me questions about certain things and what do I recommend and how do I do this and how do I do that. So I really just try to cater to everybody. And then I have my Disney folks who are like, oh, don't you love the park? Or we miss your park content. I'm like, okay, here's a park picture, or here's this.
Love it.
And then I have my brands that, you know, I feel like as moms, we shouldn't have to be, I hate to use the word frumpy, but frumpy. Why do I have to be dressed in oversized clothes and all this stuff just because I'm a mom? No, like if I want to be a cute, stylish mom and I want to wear Oxfords and bags and blazers and things like that, I should be allowed to do that. So that's like a real big just passion of mine, which is why I really try to do, you know, I mix it up. So Mondays is always typically the same, but throughout you'll see a mix of either a brand or myself. I do plan my stuff at least 2 weeks in advance.
Oh my God. I have not gotten there yet. And I know I need to, because today I feel great, but tomorrow, pregnancy, I might not feel so great. I wish I had stuff. How do you get to do? I know that wasn't a question, but like
I batch create a lot of stuff. So like I was at Magic Kingdom Thursday. I have a lot of stuff that I got there that you guys will be seeing over the next 3 or 4 weeks, because I did it that way for a reason. And then you know, my reels and everything's like that I get, and I thought that was my kid. I do those a week in advance. Like I'll shoot everything. Like this morning was a huge batch content day for me. You know, this is a lot of my brand days, things like that. When I'm out, I'm going to Epcot tomorrow, I'll shoot a bunch of stuff that'll last me a week or 2 weeks. So honestly, there's days that I go and I have fun, and I have fun and shoot at the same time. And if I don't get something, I don't get upset. I just push it to the next time that I can batch load again and go from there.
Okay. Oh, and I did have another question that came to mind. So you said you have your happy planner, but do you have separate planners for different things? Like you have to take the girls to different doctor's appointments. How do you fit it all in one planner?
The happy planner is, so I love it. So it has like the main 30-day view, but then you flip it and it gives you a whole long row for each day. Ari, can you go look in mommy's desk in the open part and bring me my planner with Mickey and Minnie on it? Thank you, sweetie. So it has enough space. There's actually 3 sections. So I break it down where I'll put the girls, whatever my personal stuff is, my brand stuff, and any miscellaneous stuff at the bottom. And I kind of like that. And it has so much space, so it allows for that.
Love it.
It does come with stickers, but I don't use the stickers just because I want to have more space.
I like that. Okay, cool. And thank you again for all of your sweet comments in the comments. So I really appreciate the feedback. And if anybody has questions for Bree, definitely put them. Sorry, I'm so used to calling you Bree. If anyone has questions for Brianna, I was going to say that. I'm like, you've arrived. You're now Brianna. I know
I'm Bree. And that's just so funny. Like I put Brianna on my page, but when people call me that, I'm like,
it's the same way I am with my husband. Like if he's like Taylor, I'm like, the other night we were sitting on the couch and I thought he said Taylor, and I was like, did you just call me Taylor?
Like my own husband doesn't call me Brianna.
And then he's like, I did not call you Taylor. I'm not crazy. Because I do not play that. Like, what about Babe?
So here's my planner.
Yeah, let us see it. Well,
and
as much as you can
I
see.
actually haven't, I'm not going to lie, I haven't written in it. Well, let me be careful. Make sure I don't show anything I'm not supposed to.
I know, I'm like, wherever it's empty.
I'll scroll up to a couple weeks ahead. Okay. This is, okay. So you see how this is? So it has 3 boxes. So one box will be for the girls or myself or personal, and then
I get
brand,
cool.
and then whatever miscellaneous, or if brand is longer, whatever here. Then I have these sides here. That's awesome too. And then you have your month view. Oh, sorry. This is the beginning of the month. We could put notes. So typically right here, I put my goals for the month.
That's
like
cool.
What I want to do, or what brands I want to work with, or my ideas. Then I still have lines here and important dates here. And then you get your monthly view. So it's the perfect.
Yeah, because you could put like on the monthly, you could put like birthdays and things like that.
That's what I typically do.
Yeah.
I do like an overview, like of like doctor's appointments, if I'm off work, any like events I'm going to be attending, I like write them on there in the time, where I'll put like event and but then I'll go to like the actual day and write
put
it
the
out.
details. So do you usually, oh, that's so smart. That's actually a really smart idea, because I normally write event. I will write what the event is there. Then it feels duplicative, because then I go to the page and then I'm writing it again. But it's smart to just put event and then put the actual details on the day.
Yeah,
That's
I put
smart.
event and I'll put event at 8 p.m. And then when I go over to the thing, I'll be like, I'll put the details. Oh, event at Raining, I think it's, yeah, event at Raining Babies, St. Pete or whatever at this time. Or I might write the address if I want to, something like that. So yeah.
That's cool. I have so many other questions about
It's
planners, because
okay.
I love this stuff.
I love planners. Like, I live by mine.
We're gonna go down a rabbit hole with planning stuff.
Happy Plan. I highly suggest a Happy Planner. I've tried a lot of planners.
Do they just have Disney, or do they have other things
no,
too?
they have so many other ones. It is amazing. I actually had the princess one last year. And so I got the Minnie and Mickey one this year because I liked it. And then I do also use a notebook too. I have a personal notebook and a brand notebook that I use, where I write out like my ideas or like my mantras or anything like that. So I do keep a separate one of those, just because I feel like my planner is more for like scheduling, and that is more for like business driven and just like goal setting in mind. So
okay, somebody just asked, what's the price point for the planner, Bree? And thanks for going in depth on all of that, because that's really, really helpful.
I'm glad somebody asked the question, because I can't see the questions. I don't know why.
Yeah. The comments.
Not the questions, but the comments. So this one, okay, let me tell you guys this. Do not, should I say this? Look around for where you buy it. So I got this one from Walmart for $18. And
it's not bad for a planner.
It is a full year. Yeah. It is for the whole year, so it goes to December. So it covers, everything I needed. There's even a little small section in the back where you can write notes if you want to. I don't do that because I have a notebook.
Why do you recommend people shop around? Because it could be a different
price. Listen, I'm all about saving a buck. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So if something's on sale somewhere else, your girl will go and get it. Okay.
So
I know that they sell them on their site, and sometimes on their site they have a deal. Now that is okay, but hey, Walmart might be having them on clearance. You never know. So, I do suggest shopping around for them online, but I'm pretty sure like they can the Disney stuff or any like marketing like brand,
it's a little more expensive,
are going to be a little bit more, but they do have normal ones. They have mini ones. They have our like smaller ones about this big that you can get like a pocket size. So
cool.
You don't, and I will say this: they do have stickers, but you don't need. I didn't need the stickers, but if you want stickers, you can get the stickers. They make it look pretty.
I love it. No, that's really good. And if anybody has questions for Bree on planners too, or just products in general, she knows the deal on like which products to buy. So please reach out to her. As she said, she already has a ton of DMs.
Always open.
I'm like, you already have a ton of DMs. What's one more or 10 more?
I try to answer everybody within like between my inbox and my emails. It's a trip, but it's a fun ride. It's worth it. It's what I like to do. Like my normal day-to-day job is dealing with people and talking to people and helping people. So
oh my gosh. Okay. So there's a mom that just said, I need to take notes on how you both use your planners and stay organized. That's kind of funny. You like to take notes about it.
You need to come back. And
I know. I know. We're going to have to do a whole thing on like organizing.
Yeah.
And I did have somebody come back once to talk about like collaborations and brand partnerships, so we might have to do that. Nudge, nudge.
Love it.
Somebody else said I grabbed mine and wrote tips. So that's really funny. And then Imagineer Mom said, hey Imagineer Mom. I think some other folks said hey too. Okay, so let's keep going, because I have like a million more questions for you, and I know we have like 6 minutes, and I'm trying to be conscious of time, so we're gonna have to do like a hybrid speed round right now.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so who's your favorite Disney character?
Minnie Mouse.
Okay, that's good. I put non-princesses too, so Minnie Mouse. Who's your favorite Disney princess? I'm like, I'm like, you better say what I think it is.
No, so for
That was my
me,
guess.
I struggle a lot with this question because I have a top three, and I typically say I have no particular order. It depends on my mood for the day.
That's
But
fair.
my top three, no particular order: Tiana, Ariel, Jasmine. I rotate Jasmine out with Rapunzel here and there. So
Rotate them out.
yeah.
I love it. And then have you seen Disney change due to the ongoing pandemic, and what should families be considering if they're thinking about traveling to Disney?
Honestly, give yourself some grace. It has gotten to the point where we are basically wide open and everybody's back here now. So it's a lot busier than it has been in the past. But I was there on Thursday and I had a good time. It's Disney, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I feel safer at Disney than I do sometimes in the grocery stores and things like that. Like, it is a pandemic outside. I understand that, and sometimes people get flack for even going to the parks right now. And I'm like,
I know.
we got to pick up somewhere and try to get some sense of normalcy. And I appreciate the steps Disney has taken to try to do that. I do miss certain things like character meet and greets. Like I do miss having
They're
them.
not doing character meet and greets?
They do them in a sense, but they're not the same. Like your kid can't go up and hug Mickey, but then I get it, right? 10,000
Because we
people
have to
hug
protect Mickey.
We're protecting Mickey and we're protecting, Cinderella, because how many people are going to hug Cinderella in Cinderella's dress and maybe passing whatever along to the next couple people? So I get it. I truly do. So if you've never been to Disney, if this is your once in a lifetime trip, and characters is your thing, then maybe that's not it. Maybe you should wait.
That's helpful.
But if
that's helpful because we've been talking about it with you.
Yeah, but if if you can wait a little bit longer and you're not like, oh my God, I have to go, or you can afford to go again at a later point, then I wouldn't be afraid to knock it out.
So we got some comments. Man, this is a chatty group. I haven't had this many comments, and I love it. So Aquafaba Test Kitchen said Tiana's her favorite character. Imagineer Mom said that's a good lineup as far as your lineup, your princess lineup. And then Super Pancake Vegan Gluten Free said Brianna herself looks like a Disney princess, which I've always agreed with.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I went to, when my college program was ending, they had, auditions, and I went, and it's still one of my regrets in life. I will say that it's one of my regrets in life.
Oh my gosh, we gotta chat more about that. I'm like, I don't think I know this story, but now I want to know the deets.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm like, darn, but that's okay.
Yeah. And you're doing great right now, So,
I am now, so
Exactly. Are masks required at the park? Lucky Little Garden wants to know if masks are required.
Masks are required indoors.
So when you're walking around the park, no mask, but when you're in the park,
if you want to, you can. I do see a lot of people, and I'm kind of that same way. When I get in a massive crowd and I feel like super dicey, I will put mine on, just because I do have a 4-month-old baby that, I don't know what can happen. But walking around freely outdoors, you don't have to have one on. They just ask that you wear them inside. Disney is really good about it. Inside, so obviously if you're on attractions inside and things like that, they ask that you have it on. But like your attractions outside, no, they don't have their social distance markers out, which I really
I was gonna ask
still
about that.
Like I wish that was something that stayed around because I'm always like,
it's like, what's the point in wearing a mask if somebody's standing right next to me?
Listen, I just think that just should be something across the board, like pure, to just be common courtesy. Please get out of my personal space. Not even just the theme park, the grocery store, everywhere. So
even before COVID, I don't need you.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I swear there have been times I've been at Disney and they're like, "Hi," I'm like, "Bye."
Back up. Yep, I agree.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so as a travel agent, Bri, what is one piece of advice you would want to share with families? I think you've already pretty much shared it, but like one piece of advice that might want to, for families considering travel.
Early. And guys, and another biggest thing is that, a lot of people they hear one price point and they think, oh my God, this is so expensive. But working with a travel agent, it's a free service. It's free. You're not paying me anything extra, anything like that, or any other travel agent who you choose to support. But you know, I do it because I love it. I do it because I love Disney. You know, I love theme parks because I don't just do Disney. I do other things, Sandals, Universal, Great Wolf Lodge, Carnival Cruise.
Oh, do you do Great Wolf Lodge everywhere?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we might need to chat. So
it's you know, it's for me, I pride myself on trying to find the best deal. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my cousin came here recently. She has 3 kids. You know, and you don't always say, hey, being on property is nice, but there's a lot of great off-site good neighbor resorts here that allow her to come Christmas, 2 days in the park. She was here for 4 nights, 5 days, $1,300, guys. Like, it's just, and that included her park tickets. So
oh my gosh,
it's doable. Just be willing. If you're willing to be flexible with your dates, fine. Just be open to the fact that, hey, it may not be as expensive as you think. And I always tell people this, like with Disney, which is my favorite part, is to book. It's just $200, and then you can pay on it as you go. The rest is
I love that.
30
that was
days.
something I really loved about
So
potentially like
it
working
gives
with
you
you.
time to like pay as you go, so you don't feel like, oh my God, I gotta toss down $2,000 today. No.
Okay, awesome. So can I have you for 5 to 7 more minutes?
Come on, I don't have to leave until 1 o'clock, so we're
Okay,
good.
good. We got a little bit more time. Thank you. And it looks like we have so many comments. I love that you guys are talking.
You gotta read them to me because I can't see them.
So I don't know why it does that too. Like the host can see comments, but the participant can't. So Romaine Calm Mama said personal space should stay a thing. I agree. It's like the fact that people didn't know it before the pandemic, we're learning it now, right?
Exactly.
And we had a few new joiners, so thanks to those who have joined. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
Or you can submit as a Q&A. So you have so many spaces. I shared this at the top of the hour. You have so many spaces that you are pretty much an expert in, from at least from how I'm judging you. So motherhood, Orlando adventures, travel, family, and style. Oh, your pup is so cute.
My first baby. This is Bentley.
Oh, Bentley. You've had him for a while.
I got Bentley. Bentley was my sorry, side tangent. Bentley was my first miscarriage, like kind of like support. Like, I got him the day of my last like blood draw to check that my HCG has gone down. I've talked about this on my page too, that I've had miscarriages before, but you know, he guided me and he was my buddy. And then 3 months later, I was pregnant with Ari, so it worked out. But I always say he's my first baby and really taught me just the love I had.
Oh, he's so sweet. Thank you for sharing. I remember when you got him too. I remember that time.
2017. I got him March of 2017.
Yeah, I remember you getting him. And now he's like an old man.
Oh, yeah, I tell people he reversed age, because when we got him, he acted like an older dog, and now he acts like a puppy.
Oh, probably like, because of the girls too, right? Like he wants that attention. He's like, don't take my mom.
He loves Ari. Like, Ari wants another dog, but she changed her mind. So.
She is so well behaved too, Brie, by the way. I watched you guys taste like some treats from a local vendor that sent you all some treats recently. And I was like, oh my gosh. And you told her, you're like, no, stop. And she stopped. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is so well behaved. Because I swear, and I think you need to hear this, because as moms, like when people tell me this about my kids, they're like, they're so good. I'm like, they are devils sometimes. You have no idea. Like, you have no idea what goes on in our house. So I think you need to see that.
And that makes me feel good. Thank you. I hear that a lot about my girls. Like, it's even Mia now. She was in the theme park with us all day, and my friend, one of my best friends, that was my first time meeting her, and she hung out with me and Ari, but it's the first time seeing Mia and a young baby, and she's like, she is a good baby. And
she seems like it.
You think
she's so cute. Oh my gosh.
She's a little but
I don't know if I've met even Ari.
No, you've been gone a
I
while.
know, it's crazy.
We're gonna make it
Okay.
happen.
Yeah, we are for real. I promise. Okay, so where did we leave off? Because I'm like just loving our chat. I knew this was gonna
Oh, you
happen too.
about the my different avenues, and then the dog came.
Yeah, so you have so many different, like, you're an expert in so many areas from like motherhood to Orlando, adventures and travel and family and style. Like, you know a lot. So, how, a lot of marketing gurus talk about like having a niche, honing in on that niche, and just niching down. So, because I struggle with this. I asked you all the questions. I'm not going to lie. I've seen you grow exponentially over the past few years. So I'm like, what questions would I want to know from Bree? Because I'm the same way. Like, I talk about food and motherhood and all these things. And it's like, do you think you need to niche down? And if you think yes, what are you going to do in order to do that? And I've also heard, like, everybody says like the algorithm promotes you on Instagram based on what you talk about, and the more you talk about it, then they know kind of where to place you, and then you can gain more followers. So, like, just tell us about that.
I think that the algorithm is trash. First off, I don't feel like I need to niche down, or that I would niche down, because here's how it kind of ties in. I know, like, my motherhood is motherhood, but my motherhood style still ties into motherhood. So it's not really a separate avenue. It's still kind of tied into motherhood. Mm-hmm. So I try to find, when I start doing research, I got to remember the podcast, but a year ago, I found this one podcast, and I don't even think she does it anymore, but she was amazing. And I used to listen to her. She used to say, you have 2 niches, 2 sub niches. It's okay. Yeah, they tell you to niche down, but everybody has a niche and then like a second niche. Like, you want to have a second one, but then whatever niche you have, you kind of have a sub niche, right? So like,
give me an example.
So for me, I have motherhood, but my sub niche in motherhood is motherhood style, because it's tying into motherhood. Because I don't really necessarily say it's style. I say this is mom style. So it still equates to motherhood. And then with travel, I have travel, but theme parks are in travel because they're looked at as an attraction or a tourist attraction or something like that. So it ties into there. I dibble and dabble in food just because I feel like that ties into travel or theme parks, but I'm mostly showing like theme park foods and treats and things like that. So it's still tying into those same 2.
That makes sense.
Spread it off.
Because part of travel is food, where you're going to stay, how you're going to get there, all of that. And then with motherhood, it's some of the products that you're using. Yep. It is food too, because I saw you pureeing like food for for Mia, and I was like, oh, that was cool, because I just used to like boil things on the stove and then put it in a blender, and it's like you're dirtying up your entire kitchen. But I think I'm gonna actually buy that device you have, because then it's all in one device versus me having to like boil over here and then put it over there and do all this stuff. So
yeah, listen, I like that. Machine secondhand from a friend, and God bless her. So she sold it to me for $20. She shipped it to me, and it still works to this day.
Oh my gosh.
It's just so super simple, easy. But I share those things because moms don't know, or they think that a system like that isn't beneficial, or maybe too pricey, or they don't need it. But it's like you said, you're dirtying up all these dishes for what? I use that same thing over again. When I tell you I did not have to wash it until I made until after the blending process, because once you start sorting it, everything's kind of out. You rinse it and steam again.
I love that.
So
and you can set it and forget it. Like, I'm not too confident that I want to leave boiling water on my stove with a toddler running around.
Listen,
so I really love that device.
Laundry, feeding baby, there was just so much happening. So for sure.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to go back into a speed round of questions. How have you learned to balance your social presence and your family life? And is it ever overwhelming to your family? I'm lucky because I feel like John doesn't really care. If anything, he stays on me more about, like, are you going to post today? Do you want me to take a picture of you? Like, should we do a mini photo shoot? But I know that if I lived in Orlando, he would probably want to kill me, because I'd be like, we're going to Disney. We're going to take pictures. Say cheese. Eat this. Hold on. Don't eat it yet. Gotta take the picture first. So how do you manage that? And is it ever overwhelming to you or to your family? Are they like, Mom, I just want to eat my churro?
Honey, Ari is a, I say this right now, Ari is going to be an influencer or YouTube channel. Like since she has been 2, she's been like, okay, be sure to like and she'll
Oh, wait.
be like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
Oh,
She used to do that time. And so even now she's like, you know, she's still the same way. My husband first starting out, I think, was a little bit like, this is very time consuming, but now that like he sees like some of the things that has happened over the past year, he's more on me now. He's like, okay, if you need to do this, you need to do this. But at the same time, he's really big on us having family time. So I do try to make weekends off, and I take off on the weekend. If you see me post, it's because I already have it preset or pre-done, and I just move on and go about my business. And whatever I choose to share in the stories is just strictly because it's what we did as a family. So
do you schedule your content, by the way? And if yes, what do you use to schedule it?
I don't schedule my content. I write it in my planner so I know what's coming. I already have it done in my phone and everything, but I still go on and manually post it.
Wow. And do you write the posts in advance as well, or do you write them real time?
I do. I write them in advance, especially because that's why I have my planner and it's already planned out for what I have done. So I typically already have it planned out or written out for at least up to the week or up to 3 days before. And then I don't use the app to post, but I do still go on and manually post it. But yeah, I use my notes.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
I use Lightroom a lot for photos. So honestly, I just type it out and just keep pushing.
I really love that because I'm not going to lie. I feel like all of the people who are very successful on Instagram, they batch create content and they have their caption already ready to go. And so those are really good takeaways for everybody who's listening.
Out to me now, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry.
Wait, say that again, Brie.
Follow me. I was like, the brands that are reaching out to me now, you know, they're like, oh, can you do this? But I'm like, y'all about 3 to 4 weeks late. Somebody's calling me.
So do you find yourself actually saying,
I'm sorry.
I'm like, you need to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm just kidding. So reading the comments, let's see. If anybody has questions, let us know. And Haley, I see you said, Romaine called Mama said, dang, I don't do it days though. You're such a boss. Me neither. Usually I take a picture. I promise.
Girl, get that planner.
And I have a planner. And I just feel like I never have time. And now that I'm pregnant and I'm like feeling like crap every day,
you gotta do it.
I had time. Now I'm like, I always thought I didn't have enough time. Now I'm pregnant and I really feel like I don't have time. I had time. So I can't wait to to feel a little better.
This was all planned out. This is like a really rough one, but it tells you like what I was going to post that day, what reel I'm posting. Or if I was doing the IGTV, that I had to be at cheer practice at whatever time. And then it starts all the way back here, Mini Monday. And my reel for that day was, Target, Disney. I'm like, what? And then Tuesday was Tiana Tuesday, but my reel was for my Cara vitamins. And then my photo was Minnie and I at Epcot. And I do try to mix it up because, you know, if I keep posting the same thing in the same outfit for a week, people are going to get bored in the same thing. So I try to mix it up and mix and match it. You know, people like to see mommy and me. That falls under motherhood. I post a mommy and me. But if I post a mommy and me, the next day I may post a brand shot. And then maybe I'll just post Ari or maybe just Mia. And then I'll go back to me. So mixing it up too does bring in new faces and new eyes. And just definitely research hashtags. Like that's a great one too.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh, so many nuggets. We're going to have to do round 2. Okay, so I know you have a close relationship with the lovely Ari. She's so beautiful and just so sweet. I just love her so much. And I feel like I have a kindred relationship with her, even though I've never met her, because of the timing of when she was born. Like, I feel like it's just, I don't know. I just feel like I know her. Anyway, so, and then you recently had baby girl Mia. So how has the dynamic changed with you having 2 kids at home And have you found it difficult to show up regularly online? Because it doesn't seem like you've missed a beat.
Oh, it's definitely was a struggle, you know, getting back into it. Like even before now, it was rough. If you go back to after I had Mia, I struggled quite a bit, and then I tried to get back into it, and then still struggled. Somebody just cut the lights off on me. So it was a lot, but at the same time, Ari is really, really loves her sister. She is actually the reason her name is Mia. She was obsessed, and when we first told her we were pregnant, we thought she was going to have a fit because it's been me and her for 3 years. And she kind of was quiet and she went about her business. But the next day I'm like, hey, do you remember what we told you? And she's like, yeah, you're having a baby. Oh, and it's my baby sister. Her name is Mia. And I'm like, so we just
Did
looked
you
at each
know?
other.
Wait, did you know though that what you were
Nope,
having?
we
I
did not.
swear, kids know.
They
Kids
know.
know. I've asked Grant so many times, like, "What's mommy having?" Because I know kids know.
They know. She knew, and it's the funniest thing because my husband swore it was a boy. I kind of thought it was a boy because my symptoms were different, but honestly, just like her dynamic with her sister is amazing. She is amazing. We do try to find time to carve out so she has her time by herself, and either with one of us one-on-one, out of the house without her, and then we have I do it with both of them. It is tougher for her in the theme parks though because she is older, so she wants to do a lot of the big stuff, and when it's most times in the park it's just me and her, so, or me, her, and the baby, so it's a little bit tougher. But you know, she's adjusting really well. It took me a minute to adjust. I'm still adjusting. I'm not a saint by any means. If you could see my house, you'd probably be like, girl. But I just tell you, to any mamas, we got to give ourselves grace. Your mental health shouldn't struggle. You know, we're not Betty Crockers. We're not Mrs. Clean. You know, if your house got to go a couple of days without you cleaning it, you know, so be it.
Like,
you know,
girl,
but,
or a couple weeks.
but that's what I'm saying. You know, it shouldn't be this expectation that us as women have to, and as mothers have to do that. Like, I work full time from home. I have both girls, and vice versa. There's no reason why it should be a set expectation that that's something that's happening. You know what I'm saying? So just give yourself grace. I learned that actually from my OB. She told me that when I went in for my follow-up because I was suffering from PPD at the time and didn't really realize it. And she was like, no, you got to take time, calm down. You'll be great.
I love that. Well, thank you for encouraging everybody. I'm reading all of the comments. My husband just said pregnant, work from home, and 2 kids, and posting during the day. He's just giving me
there
some
you go.
encouragement.
You hype your wife up. That's what you do.
Thanks, babes. Lucky Little Garden says, do you think the amount of reels helps your account get more eyes, you know, get more seen?
Yes, it does. I will have to say yes to that testament because at first I was like, ugh. But I actually started doing reels when it first happened and was really enjoying it. And I was doing like a series called T-Style Friday. And then, because I really like t-shirts, I have t-shirts in probably so many different walks and lives and things like that. And then after that, I kind of fell off and I've been trying to pick back up. So I do say a reel a day does help. It does give me some new eyes, some new followers, things like that for sure.
Wow, a reel a day?
Yeah. I know some people that post 2 or 3. I ain't time for that. But
I'm like, I can barely post one a week.
I do try, and you might see me fall, but oh, she ain't post one. It's okay. It's okay if you don't. I'm one of those people. It ain't gonna affect you, but at the same time, biggest tips for reels, try to use a trending sound that has under 10K views. That's always been something I've said for months now. And then it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Some of my, I hate to use the word like this, the stupidest reels take off more than once I spend my time that I'm putting my hard-earned energy.
It's so annoying. I know. It is so annoying. My sister-in-law said this. She said, your house can wait. Your kids can't. I love that.
Exactly.
Okay. So what tactics have you used to stay organized? I'm going to skip that one because we talked so much about it earlier. Planners. That was really good stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any untapped spaces that you'd like to get involved in, whether it's cooking or baby clothing, specific brand partnerships and collaborations? What do you aspire to do next? Or are we just kind of coasting for a little bit?
I would say this to anybody, and it's just my thing. At the beginning of each year, as it rounds out, I make a list. I make a top 20 of brands that I want to work with.
Hmm.
And last year I got to cross off 12 of them.
Oh
So
my
that really
gosh,
warmed my
congrats.
soul because it was something that I really strived for. So this year I made a list of 25, and I'm so happy to say that even as of today, a month into it, I've already crossed 5 off my list. So it's just honestly me just keep, like you said, coasting. We want to get more back into traveling now that, you know, things are back open, because that was something I was trying to take my page in that direction to anyway. So I do have some trips this year that I'm excited, and it's gonna be so exciting to share on my page. Oh my gosh, because we got some awesome things happening. But just travel, you know, I have been dibbling and dabbling into business ventures that I really want to start and do, and I think my platform is the right space for it. I just have to really like take the time to do it,
I'm
and
so excited.
we'll see if it happens this year. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be upset, because honestly I do work full time too. Like I work full
That's
time.
what I was going to ask you. Are you still working as a teacher, or are you
I'm
doing
not a
something
teacher.
different?
I actually work in recruitment.
Oh.
So for a college. So yeah, I'm doing that, and it's nice. I used to work at a local college doing something, loved it, but you know, when they say something doesn't make you happy, go find something else. That's exactly what I did, and I needed to do that, and I'm glad I did, because I'm in a much better space and happier in a sense of that. But
Are you working remote, Bree, or are you
I
working?
am. I'm
Okay.
working remote, so I get to work
I'm
from home.
I'm
So
so impressed. We have a very similar life right now, I feel, in different kind of ways, because I'm remote as well, 2 kids, you know.
there you go.
Oh my gosh. That is
To be free.
craziness. I know, I'm like, my heart's beating.
Look, you ain't rubbing that off on me, so let me not feel
I'm like, can you feel it? Can you
No.
feel it? Oh, I'm like, you have your hands full for sure with 4-month-old. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all really great stuff. And congratulations on last year getting 12 out of 20. That is huge. And it takes so much work working with
It
brands.
does.
I was gonna
It does.
ask you, do you usually go after, and this could be personal, so you can say no, but I always ask like from the heart. Do you usually go after financial gain working
I
with
was
brands,
literally
or
about to mention this.
I have to know? I'm like, because do you just go after free products, or do you go for the?
So here's my logic, and y'all hear me out on here. If anybody is listening, listen to me, and listen to me really, really closely. You need to get what you're worth. And I say this and I preach this. There are some things that I take that are gifted. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I don't. But it's gonna be something that I absolutely want, and it's worth my time and value for what I would have charged. And I say that because you get some people's like, oh, I don't have a budget, but you do. And I know you do. And if you think you're just going to send me a $20 product and get a post out of me with my kids that it requires some wrangling, that's not going to work for me. So, and not only that, as a woman of color, we typically get the low end of the spectrum. And I know my worth and what I'm
Even
putting
in
out there.
corporate world, we get
Yeah.
the low end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So, I really pride myself in that. That's like that was one of my mottos going into this year, is that I'm going to stop saying yes to everything, because there was a lot of things last year that I just said yes because it was yes and I was negotiating. No, if you can't meet me at my price, then unfortunately it doesn't work out. And listen, I've made more in the 1 month than I made last year.
Okay, so oh my gosh, I have so
double
many
that
questions.
because it's important. It really is important. Your time is worth you being paid. Now, is everything going to be paid? No. But if you're giving me a $300, $400 product that I know I'm going to use and it equates to whatever, then fine. Maybe, just maybe. But it's always up to the person. You may be a person who don't want a gifted product, and you don't have to take everything because they're like, oh, we see you as a special influencer. We want you to do this, and we want to give you this. Can you do this? You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
How did you pick your price? I have 2 questions on this. How did you pick your price? And were you in the same mindset when you had like 2,000 followers, right? Because I was
not in the same mindset.
Yet.
I will tell you that.
Change when you have more or less followers? Like,
and I wish I had the same mindset, because I learned this from the girl that I watched on the podcast, and she was like, it doesn't matter if you have 500 followers, if you have 10,000 followers, if you have 50,000 followers. You're working. If this is what you're doing, you can't do getting free product and posting for free ain't paying your bills. And I was like, oh, shoot. So I wish I did have that same mindset when I was at 2,000 followers. My mindset didn't honestly switch till I hit 5K. And I started like really diving more deep into researching, because I was growing at a rate that I was like, okay, I'm growing. What's happening? How does this really work? And I see people, I started really paying attention to seeing that people were getting paid for it, or people were being like flown out. And I was like, oh, I want to be flown out too. Take me. And so I really started digging deep into that, and that's how I started to learn. I was like, wait a minute, I could be charging. I don't have to take this free. Okay, now I know. And then in terms of rate, I base it off followers, engagement, and what they're looking for, and like my quality and content. So there's it's not, I want to call it Kelly Blue Book, but that's not it. That's for the cars, but there's a website that'll help you like calculate your rates, and you kind of go from there.
And you think it's accurate? I've always charged more than what those websites tell me.
That's just because, especially for me, if it's something that involves my kids, and any parent on here can agree, Ari is great. Don't get me wrong, but she's still a kid. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to see the bloopers in my phone that it took to get that one awesome shot that you see on my feed, you'll be like, that's my time.
It takes work.
And
oh my gosh.
Same with an infant. It's hard. So I do charge. There are some brands or smaller brands that might reach out to me that if their initiative really touches my heart and it's heartfelt, and I do my research and I'm like, whatever, then I will do it. I'm not going to lie. Just because I am all for empowerment and uplifting, especially women-owned businesses, I find I have a really like hole in my heart for that. So that is something too. But definitely, if you're in this game, the biggest tips I can give you is have your media kit. Always have a rate sheet attached to it. Don't be afraid to use it. If you want some help on it and want to know how I did mine or want to take a peek at mine, I'm happy to share it. Just inbox me. I'm an open book. I know some people like to be competitive at some points, but not me. I'm all about helping each other. There's room for everybody. So
yep. We can all get the bag.
Everybody has something else to give. Everybody has something else to give. And I might not be a certain brand's cup of tea, but you might be. And that's okay. I get this question a lot. Do I pitch to every brand? No, a lot of brands come to me. I'm not going to lie on that either. I really only pitch to brands that like I really, 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 really want to work with, who haven't came to me and are on my list.
I love that. Honestly, I stopped reaching out to brands. I probably should start up again. But now I'm just like, if you see me post about something, I'm just like, that's because they reached out to me at this point. Because it's just so exhausting. Like, I want to focus on the quality. I know we only have 3 minutes.
It's okay.
So, last few questions. The last question was, do you have any advice for our listeners who may want to work with brands? We talked extensively about that. So there you have it. And definitely reach out to Bri if you have questions. But what one piece of advice would you give to someone who's wanting to create a blog? Is there any one piece?
Yeah, just make sure you research what your site and
like hosting site, right?
Yeah, your hosting site, and whatever name you're looking at, make sure it's not already taken.
Love it. And then do you have a favorite quote or mantra that you live by? Because I know you talked about not affirmations, but like mantras that you put in your notebook and things like that. Do you have one favorite one?
The one I'm like walking in right now, honestly, is every day is a new day. You're amazing at what you're doing. The more you realize that your greatness is in front of you, the more you're going to be successful. And that's just myself. Like, that's just like,
I know. I'm like, who said it?
But it's just, like it's me, because I just started to think like, sometimes I'm my biggest competition, honestly, because I'm like, or I'm my biggest naysayer. And I'm like, why
Mhm.
am I like that? I shouldn't be like that. I've done all of this, and so just really being sure like you're your biggest cheerleader, honestly.
I love that. Um, what's one goal you have set for 2022? I know you said you have a list of 25.
Traveling more. I want to travel. I want to get into the travel game, get back into the travel game. Now that I'm not pregnant, so yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm like, pregnancy is beautiful. Don't get me
It
wrong. But
is.
I just want to tell the real. It is hard on
I
your
listen
body,
when
on
I
your
found
mind.
out.
I tell everybody, Brie, like some people have PPD. I
Yeah.
feel like I have the depression during pregnancy, and I'm
But that
finally
is a thing.
realizing that.
That is a
Like I
thing.
had it with Grant too, and I didn't realize it, but now I'm like, oh my God. And I think I just need sunlight.
No, it's honestly that's a real thing. I've heard about it. But yeah, no, like for me, I went through a huge like spiral because my page was really taking off and I didn't know how people were gonna take me being pregnant and me, transitioning to pregnancy and more motherhood. And that's kind of how I got more into motherhood
Mhm.
because I was kind of tossed into it because I was pregnant.
I love it. It's 1 o'clock. You need to
Okay.
get Ari to cheer. How can people connect with you? What support do you need from the audience? And we'll end there.
Guys, you can follow me at Watson Girls 143. Like I said, I'm open to talking with anybody. If you message me, I promise just give me up to 2 days, especially because a lot of stuff goes to my request folder. Give me a follow. I love chatting with everyone. My blog is www.expeditionwatson.com. I haven't posted since December, but we have a lot coming in the next couple weeks and into the new year on the blog that I'm really excited to share for moms. Style, local stuff. It's going to be great. Honestly, the biggest thing I need from everyone right now with this crazy algorithm, if you see a post from me, like it, save it, share it if you love it. Leave me a comment. I love that. That's what helps me.
I love it. I love that you're very direct about exactly what you want. Please go and follow Bree. She's a personal friend of mine. I feel like we fell out of touch, but then fell right back
But
into touch.
it was never really like a bad fall out of touch. It's
Oh
just
my
like
gosh, not at all. It's
it's
like
like
life.
it
It's like a
happens. It
life.
happens to a lot of
Exactly.
things. I remember you moved and then you was kind of
Yep.
going through stuff and we just
Girl,
connected
I
a
was
bit then
going
and then
through
kind of
stuff.
like,
You were with me through the stuff
yeah,
I was going through.
girl, that's what I'm like, I know. We didn't get through some
It's like,
things.
so definitely follow my friend. I love everything you do. I know you need to go to cheer, so I wish Ari nothing
We
but the
gotta do this
best.
again.
We will. I promise. I'll reach out to you. So I'm gonna remove Bree. I'm trying to see. You can drop off, Bree. I
Bye.
just want to tell everybody I'm gonna have all of her show notes up on my blog, www.thetaylorisms.org, and I need to also post McHealthy, my live that I had with Alicia a couple of weeks back. I need to also post the show notes from that interview. So please stay tuned. I'm feeling pretty okay today. So I'm going to have the show notes up from my time with Bree and the show notes up from my time with Alicia this weekend. You are hearing me say it out of my mouth. This weekend, you will have both of them up on the blog. I'm going to use my little burst of energy to get everything up. I'm getting caught up, and I just wanted to take the time to say thank you all for watching. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, I really appreciate all of you. There's been a lot going on, and it's been fun. It's been fun. So definitely let's continue to stay connected. I'm trying to support all of you whenever I can as well, whenever I'm up and awake. Like I actually did my makeup today after like a week and a half of not doing it. So yeah, just thanks for all the support, all of your encouragement. And I hope you continue to let your decisions be led by faith instead of through the lens of fear. And I'll talk with you all soon. Have a great weekend.